Good morning. I hope everyone is doing well, um, and that we are continuing having a good week. Today's Wednesday. We are getting ready to continue with Mere Christianity, which I'm very excited for. Um, I got a little distracted this yesterday. I was watching some movies, and I got lost track of time, and so um, I will be working on those videos today while I'm in the office and getting ready for tonight. So be ready for that. Now, today we are reflecting on Mark 12:18 through 27, Sadducees being mistaken. I just like that being said because Christ actually says that to them because of the questions that they were asking. So in this in this passage, the Sadducees are asking about the resurrection, and oh, excuse me. That's weird. Anyways, they're asking about the resurrection and the idea of if someone is married to a sibling and that sibling dies and they never had any children because of what Moses said, and I will touch on that in a moment. They marry the next one and then so on and so forth. And so this is the issue that Christ is dealing with the Sadducees. So if you begin with me in verse 18, Sadducees who say there is no resurrection. So mind you, with that, I didn't want to forget that. So there's no resurrection in their eyes. They don't believe in that. Came to him and questioned him, Teacher, Moses wrote for us that if a man's brother dies, leaving a wife behind, but no children, that man should take the wife and raise up offspring for his brother. There were seven brothers. I'm assuming this is a hypothetical question because um, it's not really being clear here. But the first married a woman and dying left no offspring. The second also took her and he died, leaving no offspring. And the third likewise. None of the seven left offspring. Last of all, the woman died too in the resurrection. When they rise, whose wife will she be, since the seven had married her? Oh man, my nose is running with how cold it is in my place. Now, here's the thing that is interesting about this is the fact that um the Sadducees, who, as I mentioned a moment ago, say there's no resurrection. It is mentioned in Matthew 22:23 to 33, Luke 20:27 through 40, and also Acts 23 6. It re-emphasizes the fact that the Sadducees do not believe it. They do not even believe that it exists or anything. And so them asking is kind of just a trying to trip him up. And so when they are asking him the question with the the marriage and the brothers, it's mentioned in quite a few different passages, but from the Old Testament, it mentions from Genesis 38 8, Deuteronomy 25 5 through 10, 25 5 through 10. And so before I haven't gotten to Christ's response yet. And the thing that I'm kind of emphasizing right now is they're using the teaching of Moses, trying to be clever. I at least that's what I'm seeing in this because they're like, oh, well, Moses said to do this, but this is his response. Jesus spoke to them. Isn't this the reason you're mistaken? I love that. You don't know the scriptures or the power of God. For when they rise from the dead, they neither marry nor are given in marriage, but are like angels in heaven. And as for the dead being raised, haven't you read in the book of Moses, in the passage about the burning bush, how God said to him, I am God of Abraham, God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. He is not the God of the dead, but of the living. You are badly mistaken. So this actually connects in a lot of ways to kind of the passage, the questions that we I didn't have. This was 2 Sundays ago now, when I just didn't have the mental thought of this or anything, but it specifically says, Christ specifically says that we'll be like the angels after the resurrection. We will not be given in marriage. So that connects with actually Genesis 6, the very first few verses before it is even discussed in Noah, the fact that the sons of God, the daughters of daughters of man. So it's probably just talking about righteous men and godly and earthly women. So the connection there. So now this is the part that might trip people up here. Let me try to get to it. Okay. The book of Moses, it's talking about Exodus 3, 6, 15 through 16. And then I believe that's Galatians 3, 6. And then yeah. So but that's the book that he's talking about of Moses being Exodus. Why is it that they're asking him the question about marriage and the resurrection? Why are they asking him about these 7 brothers who marry this same woman and none of them can have an offspring? Either something's wrong medically or they're rich and she's trying to get all the money. Who knows? But that was mostly a joke. But why is it that the people even today question this meaning as such I misworded that, but connected to the command in the first chapter of Genesis, which I was talking about Genesis 1:27-28. Now, so God created man in his image. He created them. He created him in the image of God. He created them male and female. God blessed them, and God said to them, "Be fruitful and multiply, fill the earth and subdue it. Rule the flesh of the sea, the birds of the air, the fish of the sea. I'm sorry, the birds of the air, and every creature that crawls on the earth." Now, that's interesting. If people put the resurrection and the Garden of Eden together, if they kind of connect them to the point where they are the same, that we'll kind of go back to what we are to be in the garden, which in many ways I do believe that is true. We're going to be working without struggles, without pain. We'll work the ground and it will be under our rule. But what about the multiplying and filling the earth? Since we've already filled the earth, will we not just need to do it anymore, and so we'll just kind of be content without having to fill it? It's just an interesting thought to have, at least in my opinion. The idea that we are to be like the angels of heaven, as he said. Let me get back into that. Um, um, in here it is. They neither marry nor are given marriage, but are like the angels in heaven. Such we also mentioned that from Genesis 6. But something that I find important is also actually before I say that, therefore, if what many believe that the resurrection is to be like the Garden of Eden, what does this passage mean in Genesis? So that's kind of like those connections. It's like, well, there is a connection, but is there also kind of a idea of we don't have to be multiplying? We can be fruitful, fruits of spirits, gentleness, kindness, so on and so forth, but not to multiply. It's just an interesting thought. I was reading that and I was like, there's these interesting thoughts here. But I love that it also reminds us of um, the burning bush and what God says to Moses, I am the God of Abraham and the God of Isaac and the God of Jacob. He's not the God of the dead, but of the living. So, you know, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob are living. You know, they did die. It is recorded, I believe. Uh, I don't remember. I don't remember what passage, but there are recordings of their being dead, but they also are renewed in heaven. So it's like, oh, so they're not dead; they are in heaven with God in everlasting and everlasting. So, um, now, like I said, when I get into the office today, I will be working on these and a few other things, obviously. But I'll try to get at least 2 or 3 videos done today for Mere Christianity. And don't forget Genesis. The plan is still to try to do something. I will have a quick announcement on Sunday about a quick luncheon. I discussed with a few people last week. Or 2 Sundays ago about it, and we didn't mention it Sunday. I guess we forgot to talk about it, which sometimes that does happen. But I will figure something out uh, for them to have for us to have something. It will most likely be uh, something ordered. I won't do pizza because we did pizza this last time, but I will look into something and we'll figure something out. So. But that is all. That is all I have. I hope that these videos continue to be encouraging and continue to be great for everyone. That was a really good picture. Anyways, I will see everyone tonight.